The words slipped from my lips like venom, sharp and final. I don't need your love. I hadn't meant them, at least not fully, but in the heat of anger, pride spoke louder than my heart. Jacob had been trying in his quiet, steady way to bridge the distance that had grown between us. He reached out with soft gestures, flowers after work, texts reminding me he cared, arms around me when I was too stressed to speak. But instead of accepting them, I pushed him away. I wanted him to fight harder, to prove his devotion, but instead of asking for that, I chose cruelty. His eyes darkened at my words, and for the first time in years, he didn't argue back. He simply nodded, as if I had handed him the truth he had been afraid to face. That night, he packed a small bag and left without slamming the door. The silence he left behind was deafening. At first, I told myself he was bluffing, that he'd be back after cooling off. He always came back. But this time he didn't. Days turned into weeks, and his absence became a gaping hole I couldn't fill. The house felt lifeless without his laughter, the bed too wide without his warmth. I checked my phone endlessly, hoping for a message, a call, even an angry word. But there was nothing. The worst part was realizing just how much of my life had been tethered to him. The little routines we had built. The morning coffee he always brewed because he knew I hated doing it. The way he insisted on locking the doors at night because I always forgot. The notes he'd leave on the fridge when he knew I'd wake up late. All of it was gone. I had dismissed his love as unnecessary. And now that it was gone, I understood it had been the foundation of everything. I tried to move on, to bury myself in work, in friends, in meaningless distractions, but Jacob's absence followed me everywhere. One night, unable to bear it any longer, I drove to his old apartment, only to find it empty. He had moved out, no forwarding address, no sign of where he had gone. It was as though he had erased me from his life completely. Months later, I saw him by chance. He was walking down the street with a colleague from his new job, smiling in that easy way I had once taken for granted. My heart clenched at the sight of him, at how whole and alive he looked without me. I wanted to run to him, to apologize, to tell him I hadn't meant a single word of what I said. But I froze, watching from a distance as he laughed at something his friend said. The sound of it broke me. That laugh used to be mine. I sent him messages after that. Dozens. Long paragraphs pouring out my heart, short ones begging for him to reply. Days passed with no answer. Finally, after weeks of silence, he sent back one line. You told me you didn't need my love. I believed you. That line gutted me more than any insult could. I had thrown away his love, and now he was living as though I had never mattered. The desperation grew inside me like a fire. I tried to reach him through mutual friends, through his family, even showing up at places I thought he might be. But each time, he either wasn't there, or he walked away before I could reach him. I began to realize that apologies weren't enough. Love isn't a game where you can discard someone, and then pick them back up when you change your mind. I had told him I didn't need his love, and he believed me so deeply that he built a new life on that truth. And now, no matter how much I begged, I couldn't take it back. But still, I'm trying. I'm still writing letters I never know if he'll read, still leaving small tokens at his door when I find where he's staying, still hoping one day he'll look at me the way he once did. I told him I didn't need his love, but the truth is, his love is the only thing I ever needed. And now I'm desperate, pathetically, hopelessly desperate, to win him back. Because I know the cruelest irony of all. When I finally realized his love was everything, I had already lost it forever.